I don't know if that's his normal gait or what, but he doesn't look like he's walking well.
It's been out like almost a month, right?
I'd say Nate McMillan's done an unbelievable job with that team. With all they have gone through.
The patchwork.
I'd say, well, how about them losing at home to Oklahoma City? Like it was 90-something to 77. Go on the road. Phoenix has had 5 days off. Go in, they get in about 3 in the morning and go in there and beat them. And that's, I mean, when you're going into the All-Star, I mean, that's a heck of a deal. You dropped one to go, Rich, and I put that right here, Coach.
Thank you. I was like, where is this?
It was right here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boy, it's a long halftime. What was it, 30 minutes?
Yeah, at least. Yeah, I feel like Dwight Freeney over here.
When you stiffened up on us, Reg? That ankle gets stiff?
That's right.
You know, it's always fun to see who the coaches want on the floor the last 9 minutes. That's the fun part, to see who do they really want out there.
Yeah.
You know, if it's close enough to where it makes a difference.
It will.
Yes. Welcome back to North Texas. We're at Cowboy Stadium, Arlington, Texas. And the 2010 All-Star Game is being presented by Kia Motors. A 76-69 lead for the East over the West as we head to the second half. And before we chat with Doug and Reggie about what took place in the first half, here are some of the sights and sounds of what has to be considered the relaxed atmosphere along the sidelines in the first half.
I'm here to support. That's all I'm here.
That's all it is, huh? Great towel waiver.
Yeah.
And clap, whatever.
Tell me to stand in the corner. I was ready to shoot the 3, Chief.
Oh! Oh, jump ball. Oh, good call, refs. I bet you won't go out there and try it. I'll do it for fun.
Well, for the first half, the West led by Carmelo Anthony of the Denver Nuggets, who was a question mark as to how much time he would play because of that ankle problem, but Carmelo with 17 points to lead the way.
Now, Marvin got off to a great start, too. He had 13 of those in the first quarter. When you do that, you get out on the break, you make some jump shots. He was able to step back here early and knock down the long 3 ball. And then you get out on the break. Chris came in here, does a nice job offensive rebound. 11 offensive rebounds for the West, which was a big part of their attack. And then Carmelo finishing on the break. So the nice pass from Steve Nash and 13 first quarter points.
And you're wondering why the East is up 7 points, shooting 60% from the field. It's like shots like this from LeBron James, knocking down the 3 early. And I talked about him and Magic Johnson, probably the best at 6'8", 6'9", being able to take the ball into the teeth of the defense and being able to finish.
And a look at some of the halftime statistics. LeBron James, 4 of 8, 11 points. And Carmelo Anthony, 8 of 14, along with 8 rebounds. The West shooting 49% from the field, and the East just under 60%. 4 of 8 for the East, including a rare 3-pointer by Dwight Howard, who for his career during regular season play, 1 of 16 from beyond that 3-point line. He's already attempted 2 here tonight.
Well, Marv, I think you saw it. The East had 27 fast break points. They're the smaller, faster team. The West had 11 offensive rebounds. So, you know, both teams really played to their strengths.
The East in possession as this third quarter gets underway, and we check in with David Aldridge.
Well, Marv, Stan Van Gundy says he has a game plan to get this game minute-wise to about the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and then you'll see who the hot guys are and who's out there. Kevin Garnett is not going to play a lot in the second half. I asked Paul Pierce how many minutes he was good for. He said, I can give him about 5. That's about it. It's hard to come out here and warm up again after that long halftime. Now let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, thanks to David. George Karl said he's going to go with that 4-point guard lineup early in the fourth quarter. He wants to see what it can do running up and down the court. He also says, as Doug and Reggie were commenting, he's having a hard time sitting down below. He said, I got up one time to talk to the team. I think my knee popped. He said, I'm staying here for the whole second half.
But he is excited about that 4-point guard lineup that we probably will see sometime during the fourth quarter.
I'm feeling like Dwight Freeney over here. As long as that halftime was, mouth kind of freezing up a little bit.
Reggie, you have to tough it up during these broadcasts.
You got it.
Stoudemire had it poked away by Howard. Marv Albert along with Hall of Famer Doug Collins, future Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager and David Aldridge working the sideline. It's the 59th NBA All-Star game. It all dates back to 1959 at the old Boston Garden. A win for the Eastern squad. Here is Duncan.
Oh, my goodness.
And Howard goes the distance. You saw that coming.
Well, he knocks down a 3 in the first half. Now he's playing point guard here at the beginning of the third.
Reggie wishes he would have seen that in a slam dunk competition last night.
Anthony on the fade, so Carmelo with 19 points.
He's one of the toughest covers in the NBA. Here comes LeBron, the runaway freight train in the open court, and he gets it off the glass. But talking about Carmelo Anthony, you put a smaller player on him, he punishes him with his power. You put a bigger player on him, and he used his speed and quickness. Very, very difficult cover. Here's the speed and the strength.
Rebounded by Garnett. Both teams back to their starting lineups. James trying to save it. Duncan is on it. Stolen by James. Here's LeBron putting it up off the backboard, but Wade could not field it. Then just turns, hits the fadeaway.
And now the West has to do something to try and not let this game get too far away from them. Got to keep it within striking distance.
Nowitzki posting, spinning. Stoudemire able to get to it. And the foul as Duncan is pushed. The West sharing the ball on that sequence.
Well, you can see the difference in the two teams. Just look at the size, Reggie. We talked about the 27 fast break points in the first half. They've come out the East already. We've seen LeBron go end to end. We've seen Dwight Howard and the fast breaks. And for the West, if you got Duncan out there with Nowitzki, Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, and Steve Nash, and you got a lot of your older players. So, you know, stiffening up and sitting down there for 30 minutes is a factor.
Tim Duncan in his 12th All-Star appearance. You know, when Tim Duncan played in his first ever All-Star game back in 1998, Kevin Durant was 9 years old.
You think he was thinking that?
Duncan making his 11th start out of his 12 All-Star appearances.
Move there, baseline by Dwayne Wade. What a great ambassador for basketball that Tim Duncan has been. Him and as well as the San Antonio Spurs.
That's going to be an interesting team to watch in the last 30-something game. The Spurs, can they get their act together on the road? Here's Nowitzki knocking down that jump shot, but the Spurs did have a nice win in Denver going into the break.
10 points for Nowitzki, and James draws the foul.
How do you stop that? Seriously.
You don't.
I mean,
unless you're willing to stand up there and take a charge from a guy who's 6'9", 260. That's not going to happen. I mean, he's just so strong and so powerful. He can use both hands. And look at these numbers, Reggie, what he's done in the All-Star game. We were getting ready to go on tonight, and you said, I guarantee he's going to